Stepping out of mesmerizing black and white reels in the glowing Technicolor era, they were the roses of Hollywood's golden age, women who redefined elegance and made cinema feel like a religion of beauty. From Myrta Torren's speaking eyes to Yvonne de Carlo's fiery allure, let's travel back together and meet the muses who crowned the classic studio empire. Stars who didn't just perform from a script, but from an eternal aura, weaving the golden dream we still remember. A true treasure of stage and screen, Angela Lansbury built an 8-decade career, from iconic villains to the beloved detective Jessica Fletcher. Her legendary rise began with early Oscar nominations, yet her private life faced turmoil when her children became entangled with the Charles Manson circle and struggled with drug addiction. To save them, she moved her family to Ireland, pausing Hollywood momentum. She died in 2022, aged 96, leaving resilience, 5 Tony Awards, and global TV icon status. Gene Tierney was called the most beautiful woman in movie history, yet her face carried a haunted softness that made film noir feel personal. At her peak in Laura, she turned elegance into mystery. Off-screen, tragedy struck when she contracted rubella while pregnant, and her daughter was born with severe disabilities. She later battled depression and bipolar episodes. Tierney died in 1991, 70, of emphysema. Constance Smith, the ill-fated Irish Rose, was a brief but dazzling talent in 1950s dramas, praised for her beauty. Her life spiraled into darkness, severe drug addiction and suicide attempts. Her career collapsed after a drunken fight in which she wounded her lover, filmmaker Paul Rotha, leading to imprisonment. She died in 2003, aged 74, poor and forgotten, an enduring warning about Hollywood pressure and untreated mental illness. Known as the Queen of Technicolor, Maureen O'Hara mesmerized audiences with her fiery red hair and fierce feminist roles in westerns and epics. Despite her professional success, she faced personal turmoil, including a scandalous, reportedly abusive second marriage to Will Price. She passed away in 2015 at age 95. Her legacy endures as a symbol of strength, independence, and unparalleled natural beauty in Hollywood's golden age. Yvonne de Carlo was a multicultural beauty, celebrated for her exotic roles before finding TV fame as Lily Munster. Her life was marred by legal battles over her husband's stunt-related injuries and scandalous rumors regarding her many high-profile affairs. She died in 2007 at age 84. De Carlo's legacy remains her incredible versatility, transitioning seamlessly from a glamorous big-screen siren to a beloved cult classic television icon. As Tarzan's Jane, Maureen O'Sullivan became an icon of natural purity and 1930s adventure cinema. However, her private life was haunted by profound tragedies, including her husband John Farrow's infidelity. She also endured the shocking public scandal involving Woody Allen and her daughter Mia. Passing away in 1998 at 87, she is remembered for her gentle elegance and for being the matriarch of a prominent Hollywood acting dynasty. Sweden's own muse, Märtha Torén was once hailed as the next Ingrid Bergman, bringing Europe's melancholic, mysterious beauty into Hollywood's spotlight. But her promising rise was abruptly cut short by a devastating health crisis at the very peak of fame. Under immense pressure to be Bergman's successor, she died tragically in 1957, at just 30, from a sudden brain hemorrhage, leaving cinema with an unforgettable sense of loss. Alexis Smith, the sharp noir lady, embodied 40s-50s elegance, often cast as poised, intelligent, and quietly icy upper-class women in crime dramas. Yet Hollywood narrowed her career by typecasting her into one refined mold, limiting her true range. Off-screen, her private life was shaped by her husband Craig Stevens's long, hidden struggle with sexuality in a conservative era, leading to a lavender marriage. She died in 1993, aged 72, leaving a Broadway comeback as her enduring triumph. Mildred Cornman was Glow from the silent era, an Our Gang child star who lived long enough to witness movies find their voice. Billed later as Ricky Van Dusen, she moved from early screen fame into modeling, business, and photography, carrying Hollywood history in her memories. Cornman died in 2022 at 97, noted as the last living actress of the silent era, leaving a priceless legacy for film lovers and preservationists alike. Veronica Lake's peekaboo hair and cool noir stare made her a wartime pin-up and mystery star in This Gun for Hire. Fame came fast, but studio battles and heavy drinking dimmed her career, leading to years of hardship far from Hollywood's spotlight. In her final chapter, illness caught up with her. She died in 1973, 50, from acute hepatitis and acute kidney injury. Still iconic, still tragic. Lana Turner, the sweater girl, defined Hollywood glamour with a face built for close-ups and headlines. Her peak films like The Postman Always Rings Twice and Peyton Place proved she had real dramatic force. Yet her private life became tabloid legend, most famously the Johnny Stompanato scandal that shook the industry. She died in 1995, aged 74, from throat cancer, remembered as beauty shadowed by chaos. Estella Blain was French beauty on the international screen, free-spirited, sensual, and unmistakably European. She burst out in the lead of Wild Fruit and later crossed genres with roles from The Diabolical Dr. Z to Angelique and the King. Behind the glamour, her story ended in heartbreak. Blain died by suicide on January 1, 1982, at 51. Her legacy is a vivid bridge between French cinema and global fantasy. Deborah Kerr was the definition of refined beauty, quiet, intelligent, and emotionally precise for decades. In From Here to Eternity, she revealed passion beneath restraint, and The King and I sealed her classic stature. Though often typecast as proper, she brought depth to every role. Her later years were shadowed by Parkinson's disease. Kerr died in 2007, 86, leaving a legacy of grace and truthful acting. Greer Garson became Hollywood's symbol of wartime courage during World War II, radiating calm strength when the world needed hope. Her Oscar-winning turn in Mrs. Miniver and the romantic ache of Random Harvest defined her prime. Behind the polish, she endured years of serious heart problems in later life. Garson died in 1996-91 from heart failure, remembered for dignified heroines who made resilience look beautiful. Angela Greene, the seductive B-movie queen, turned pin-up glamour into standout supporting roles. A John Robert Powers model, she sparkled in At War with the Army and the Western Shotgun, then slipped into eerie sci-fi with The Cosmic Man. Reports of a youthful romance with John F. Kennedy added intrigue. She died in 1978, 56, from a stroke, remembered for style, grit, and allure. Victoria Shaw, the Australian young lady, brought patrician softness and clear-eyed intelligence to 1950s Hollywood. After modeling success, she broke through in the crimson kimono and later appeared in Westworld, always carrying a gentle upper-class poise. Fame came with distance, and declining health eventually pulled her back home. Shaw died in 1988, 53, from emphysema, leaving a legacy of quiet elegance and underused depth. Bette Davis, the First Lady of acting, didn't chase likability. She chased truth. With those unforgettable eyes, she mastered complex women in All About Eve and Whatever Happened to Baby Jane. Fame came with fierce battles against studios and harsh headlines, but she never softened her edge. She died in 1989, aged 81, after a long illness, remembered for performances that still intimidate, move, and inspire. Judy Garland, the voice from Oz, carried a once-in-a-generation gift, tender, powerful, and heartbreakingly human. From The Wizard of Oz to A Star is Born, her talent felt like truth. But relentless studio pressure, addiction, and fragile health turned fame into suffering. She died in 1969, aged 47, from an accidental barbiturate overdose, leaving a legacy of devotion and raw brilliance. Barbara Stanwyck, the true queen of noir, played danger with a brain, sharp, elegant, and unforgettable. Her cold brilliance in Double Indemnity and the tension of Sorry, Wrong Number made her the gold standard of the femme fatale. Behind the fame was relentless work and quiet toughness that outlasted Hollywood trends. She died in 1990, aged 82, from congestive heart failure, leaving fearless women in her wake. Ava Gardner was called the most beautiful animal in the world, with wild, untamed glamour Hollywood couldn't bottle. From a sharecropper's daughter to an international siren, her peak in Mogambo and the Barefoot Contessa turned desire into drama. Her career was perpetually overshadowed by a scandalous, media-frenzied marriage to Frank Sinatra, marked by jealousy and intense headlines. She died in 1990, aged 67, of bronchopneumonia, forever a legend of untamed beauty and heartbreak. Hedy Lamarr, stunned as the most beautiful woman in the world, dazzling in Algiers and Samson and Delilah. Yet her greatest twist was off-screen. She co-invented a frequency-hopping idea that later influenced modern wireless technology. Fame rarely gave her peace, and her final years grew quiet and isolated. Lamarr died in 2000, aged 85, from heart disease, leaving a rare legacy of glamour and genius. Joan Crawford, the queen of social drama, rose from poverty to Hollywood power through sheer will. In Mildred Pierce, she turned ambition, motherhood, and pain into electric cinema. Off-screen, her drive fed rumors, feuds, and a carefully guarded image, later mythologized for its darkness. She died in 1977, aged 71, from a heart attack, leaving a legacy of reinvention, discipline, and survival for women who refused to quit.
Kathleen Hughes, with honey blonde hair, wide eyes, and a sly, knowing smile, lit up 1950s thrillers like it came from outer space. Her curves and playful screen presence made her a drive-in daydream for countless young moviegoers. She died in 2025 at 96, fondly remembered as a shimmering cult favorite of mid-century cinema. And Frances, with her blonde hair, cool gaze, and trademark beauty mark near her lip, became a 1950s fantasy in Forbidden Planet and Blackboard Jungle. She looked both futuristic and warmly approachable, the sci-fi dream girl with real attitude. She died in 2011 at 80, still ranked among Hollywood's sexiest icons. Frances Rafferty, with soft features, bright eyes, and a wholesome smile, first charmed audiences as an MGM starlet and World War II pinup girl. In light comedies and musicals, she seemed like the pretty neighbor every GI dreamed about. She died in 2004 at 81, remembered as a gentle, girl-next-door beauty. Doris Day, with her sunny smile, clear blue eyes, and golden voice, became the ultimate girl-next-door romantic lead in Pillow Talk and The Man Who Knew Too Much. Her laughter and songs wrapped audiences in gentle optimism. She died in 2019 at 97, leaving a legacy of bright, comforting screen romance. The next legend is Hollywood's most enchanting dancing sweetheart. Ginger Rogers, with her bright smile, sparkling eyes, and endlessly graceful legs, floated through musicals like Swing Time and Top Hat. In ball gowns and featherlight spins with Fred Astaire, she turned romance into pure motion. She died in 1995 at 83, forever cherished as Hollywood's most enchanting dancing sweetheart. Katharine Hepburn, with her sharp cheekbones, clear eyes, and clipped, patrician voice, brought a different kind of beauty to films like The Philadelphia Story and Guess Who's Coming to Dinner. Fiercely independent on and off screen, she made intelligence irresistible. She died in 2003 at 96, a timeless symbol of wit and elegance. Lana Turner, with her sculpted brows, full lips, and glamorous curves, turned film noirs like The Postman Always Rings Twice into feverish fantasies. Whether in furs or satin, she seemed born for shadows and desire. She died in 1995 at 74, remembered as one of Hollywood's definitive blonde sirens. Lucille Ball, with flame-red hair, huge eyes, and a rubbery, expressive face, made millions fall in love with her in I Love Lucy. Even covered in flour or bursting into laughter, she glowed with a special kind of warmth. She died in 1989 at 77, forever cherished as television's funniest sweetheart. Claire Bloom, with dark, thoughtful eyes and a finely sculpted profile, brought aching romantic intelligence to films like The Spy Who Came In From the Cold and The Brothers Karamazov. Her intensity made even a simple glance feel like a love confession. Now 94, she appears only occasionally, cherished as a symbol of British elegance. Leslie Caron, with her dark bob, bright darting eyes, and dancer's lightness, turned An American in Paris and Gigi into dreamy musical love stories. She seemed to float rather than walk, the perfect gamine sweetheart. Now 94, she lives quietly in France, treasured as a living link to Golden Age romance. Do you remember the first time you went completely silent just because of a movie star's eyes? Susan Hayward, with her fiery red hair, strong jawline, and blazing eyes, gave romantic melodramas like I Wanna Live, and with A Song in My Heart, a fierce emotional charge. She looked like a woman who had truly lived every heartbreak. She died in 1975 at 57, remembered for intense, stormy glamour. Shirley Knight, with her open face, searching blue eyes, and soft vulnerability, brought aching sincerity to Sweet Bird of Youth and The Dark at the Top of the Stairs. She made longing and disappointment feel painfully real. She died in 2020 at 83, cherished as a quietly radiant presence in serious drama. Shelley Winters, with her blonde curls, expressive mouth, and big, wounded eyes, moved from bombshell roles to deeper, bruised characters in A Place in the Sun and The Diary of Anne Frank. Her beauty always hinted at trouble and tenderness. She died in 2006 at 85, leaving a legacy of messy, human passion. Jean Simmons, with her velvety voice, soft dark eyes, and classical profile, brought a gentle, haunting romantic aura to Spartacus and Guys and Dolls. She seemed both innocent and knowing, like someone guarding secret sorrows. She died in 2010 at 80, remembered as one of British cinema's most delicately enchanting beauties. Judy Holliday, with her round face, bright eyes, and squeaky, hesitant voice, turned dumb blondes in Born Yesterday and Bells Are Ringing into unexpectedly lovable, romantic women. Audiences fell for the vulnerability beneath her perfect comic timing. She died in 1965 at 43, remembered as a uniquely funny, tender screen sweetheart. Jane Mansfield, the platinum blonde bombshell with an hourglass figure, breathy voice, and teasing, wide-eyed stare, turned 1950s comedies like The Girl Can't Help It into pure, pop art seduction. Posters of her covered bedroom walls worldwide. She died in 1967 at 34, her over-the-top glamour still burned into pop memory. Belinda Lee, the British blonde beauty with luminous eyes and a soft, wistful smile, captivated audiences in films like Footsteps in the Fog and Italian melodramas of the late 1950s. She seemed made for tragic, tender romance. She died in 1961 at just 25, leaving behind a brief but haunting screen legacy. Anna Magnani, with dark, stormy eyes, a strong nose, and a lived-in face, made romance feel volcanic in Rome, open city, and a rose tattoo. Passion and pain seemed to pour out of every embrace. She died in 1973 at 65, revered as the raw, beating heart of Italian screen love. Susie Parker, the high-fashion redhead with impossibly long legs, feline eyes, and cool, aristocratic poise, brought model glamour to the screen and kissed them for me and 10 North Frederick. She looked like a living magazine cover come to life. She died in 2003 at 69, forever a symbol of 1950s chic desire. Olivia Hussey, with luminous innocence and trembling emotion, seemed born to play Shakespeare's most tragic lover. As Juliet in the 1968 Romeo and Juliet, every glance toward Leonard Whiting felt like first love captured forever. She died in 2024 at 73, remembered as the definitive young Juliet of the screen. Catherine Ross, with her soft voice and clear, wondering eyes, became the dream girl who always seemed half out of reach. In The Graduate and Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid, she hovered between safety and danger, affection and escape. Now 85, she endures as the gentle face of bittersweet romance. Liza Minnelli, all sharp angles, huge eyes, and a voice like a spotlight, turned heartbreak into high style. As Sally Bowles in Cabaret and The Bruised Romantic in New York, she danced on the edge of collapse. Now 79, she remains the patron saint of dazzling, defiant love. Marsha Mason, with her tired smile and resilient softness, embodied the women love keeps wounding but never quite breaks. In Cinderella Liberty and The Goodbye Girl, she turned single mothers into luminous romantic leads. Now 83, she endures as the patron saint of second chance love. Meryl Streep, with her expressive fragility and emotional precision, brought heartbreaking realism to every romantic conflict she touched. From Kramer vs. Kramer to the devastating beauty of Sophie's Choice, she reshaped the language of screen emotion. Now 76, she endures as the symbol of love's most haunting, impossible decisions. Julie Christie, with her cool beauty and distant, searching eyes, shaped the very idea of romantic melancholy. As Lara in Dr. Zhivago, her quiet longing lit the frozen landscapes. Now 85, she remains the face of fragile, poetic love that lingers long after the credits fade. Faye Dunaway, all sharp cheekbones and wounded glamour, brought danger and desire to every love story she touched. Her cool gaze in Bonnie and Clyde and aching elegance in Chinatown made romance feel mysterious and volatile. Now 84, she endures as the face of seductive, shadowed screen passion. Catherine Deneuve, with cool porcelain beauty and a secret sadness in her eyes, became the defining face of French screen romance. In The Umbrellas of Cherbourg and The Last Metro, she carried love like a quiet wound that never fully heals. Now 82, she remains cinema's eternal image of elegant, unattainable longing. Barbara Streisand, with her fierce sensitivity and unmistakable voice, turned Katie Morosky into one of cinema's most unforgettable lovers. Her yearning glances toward Robert Redford carried both hope and heartbreak. Now 83, she remains a symbol of passionate, principled love that refuses to fade quietly.
Thank you for watching. As we close this journey through Hollywood's golden age, we're reminded that these women weren't just stars. They were living cinema, turning black and white dreams and Technicolor glow into lasting memory. Their beauty, talent, and hard-won resilience still echo in every classic scene we revisit. If these legends brought back memories, please like, subscribe, and join us next time to honor more timeless icons.